Here is why you should pursue hard or difficult things, especially now when we're surrounded and bathed in comfort. We can rest on our laurels. We can leisurely, gingerly make our way through the world, through life, even at a snail's pace, and really make no progress. And then at the end of whatever the period is, or the whatever term we're in life or season, we can always fall back on the fact that we feel terrible because we haven't pushed ourselves enough. And so that's always, that feeling sits with you and can even make you feel guilty. But let's get into it. So as a man, as a human being in general, you atrophy. Use it or lose it is the way that it goes. And like they say, the things that fire together wire together. So if I'm lockstep, if I'm in a position to fire away as many shots as I can, as consistently as possible, I have to be able to push myself beyond the fact that I don't want to do certain things, or not today, or maybe tomorrow. That mentality, right? You have to battle that daily, right? Even minute by minute. And so that is super important, that if you don't develop that muscle, then it's really hard to kind of push yourself because you're just not used to doing it enough. Eventually, like a workout, you slowly get better at things. The other thing is, there's this concept of hormesis, which is small doses of poison ingested over time is a good thing. It is good for the organism. It's good for the body. Much like difficult things, if you constantly are always trying to play it safe, or don't want to do things because it doesn't follow the program that you've sort of inscripted yourself to, if it doesn't fall within the boundaries of what you think is going to get you to the next step, I think that's where you go wrong. Because this whole self-development, sort of like habit obsessive type of content that's kind of out there, it makes sense. But the problem is that it doesn't leave much room for any interesting or random encounters that are gonna throw you a bone and perhaps take you in a direction you didn't think otherwise, right? If you just stuck to the plan, then you don't get very far. So a little bit of poison in small doses is perfectly healthy, and I would encourage it to do, because then you become neurotic about, well, I can't do this because of XYZ, or I don't want to eat seed oils because I'm gonna die, or it's gonna stay in my body for 10 years. I don't want to stay out past a certain hour because my circadian rhythm. I don't want to drink coffee within the first 10 minutes of waking up because, oh, it's gonna spike my cortisol. This kind of stuff, this kind of paranoia around, about, sidestepping hazards, if you will. The other thing is what happens to the people that don't do difficult things? I think they get to a point in their life where they have a death of despair, or they're surviving, but they're barely there. They're barely intact, soulless, spiritless, and that's a scary place to be in. And all you got to do is talk to older guys, older people in general, and you'll notice that a lot of them kind of have to live with a certain amount of regret because they just didn't pull the trigger. They didn't move the way they should have. They didn't maneuver through life when they had the energy to do so. And now you got diabetes and you got bad knees and you're overweight and you just can't move the way you used to. And I remember, because I like to hang out with people of different age groups. And I used to hang out with this old guy. And he would tell me that, he's like, dude, like, I have regrets about the career path that I took. But he's like, but I'm so tired. He's like, I'm too late. I can't make a move for something different. It's too late for me. I don't have the energy or the capacity or the mental bandwidth to pivot into something else. And that was what I was talking about. That's when I'm like, okay, so this guy's just living in a scenario in which he doesn't want to be in, but he has no choice. He has a mortgage, he has a wife, he has a daughter. He's kind of stuck. And so that's what I mean by the death of despair, because these guys, they're still alive, but they're dead inside. Here's another one. Transformation through tragedy. That's the other big part of it, is there's so much to be learned, to be gleaned from trying different things, from adventure maxing, from creating the lore, if you will, from having context, creating stories, that you're going to evolve over time. And so if you're constantly trying to play it safe, you're never going to really have or feel the panoply of emotions that life will give you if you're willing to try things that you don't want to do. And believe me, I'm the type of guy that I would be perfectly comfortable not doing anything, because I don't ever feel like doing anything. I have to constantly force myself to do things that, yes, I like to do, but I could always say I could do them later. I'm the later guy. I'll get to it when I need to get to it. But then I know I have to constantly put myself in a position where I think to myself, it's probably because I have some type of fear, some tepidness. And so because of that, I have to actually do it even more so, because just the specter of the possibility of tragedy is enough to kind of spark some intrigue for me. And that's where you get the hurt earned wisdom, which is that the people that can heal are the ones that have been hurt. It's like saying you don't want to take advice from the guy that's always been good looking. You don't want to take advice from the dude that's always been in shape or has been an athlete his entire life. It just doesn't make sense. You also don't want to take advice from people, if you're sick, that have never been sick, because they don't understand what it takes to get out of that scenario or out of that situation. So I think it's important to understand that those sort of like mental or spiritual or metaphorical scars that you accrue through these experiences, through these difficult things, is how you become who you need to be. It's how you chisel your identity. It's how you sculpt yourself as a human being. So I think with all that, that's the reason why these are the reasons rather, you need to do hard things. It's really that simple. It's for the sake of the soul and nothing more. I don't think we should worry about outcomes per se. I think we should just focus on the journey and the trajectory in which that takes us, regardless of how many iterations it takes to get there or how many detours you must take, you must do difficult things. I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next one.